Welcome to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. If you would like to support this channel, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you enjoy the content. And now, let's start with the first story. It's called Slower. This story happened last December. I went out to a large mall that gets pretty busy this time of year due to the Christmas shoppers. I got lucky that a lady with her kids was just leaving as I pulled up outside the store I needed, and I went inside to get gift shopping. An hour or two later, I headed back out to my car and started loading the many items into the trunk and back seat. It should be noted that last year I tore my rotator cuff in my left shoulder, so by December I was able to lift the bags and boxes, but I was still recovering, so it was a slow task. I'm just about finished when I hear a car horn behind me. I turn around to see an irate, entitled woman in a Range Rover backing me over. She winds her window down and says, "Could you go any slower? Some of us have places to be." "Sure," I say, then comply with her request to the letter. "Can I go slower?" "Why yes, of course I can." The last 3 bags took about as long as the rest of the shopping combined. Then I spent a good 5 minutes rearranging the stuff in my trunk. The last 3 bags took about as long as the rest of the shopping combined. Then I spent a good 5 minutes rearranging the stuff in my trunk. I wouldn't want to make it all roll around. As soon as she had driven off, I swiftly got in my car and reversed, all too happy to let the next, much more polite lady take my place. The next story is called No Scrubs. About 10 years ago, I became a CNA and worked at an assisted living. In many of these types of buildings, corporate does not want the nursing home, so they make their nurses and CNAs wear business casual clothes. The place I was at required us to wear a collared shirt and khakis or black pants. I'm a 6'3" male, on the skinnier side, that has been told my legs are so long I look like I'm rocking on stilts. That being said, finding khakis isn't easy, and I usually need to custom order them, which can be pricey. Also, I like to note that this building had hard carpet everywhere, and I would end up kneeling down to help tie shoes or do other things while helping out my residents. So I ended up blowing out the knees on my khakis often. One day, management says that we were allowed to wear appropriate yoga pants that were black or khaki colored, with no reason given. This does nothing to help me in my holy khaki situation. And as I was making $12 per hour, custom ordered pants were very expensive to me. So I decided I was gonna buy black and khaki scrub pants because they are cheaper and more durable. I go on wearing them for about a week without issue when management calls me in and states that the policy is no scrub pants and I would be written up if I do it again. I try to explain the financial situation, that each pair of khakis were costing me most of a day's wage and the knees would wear out quickly. They respond with, "Tough luck. No scrubs." I then grab the flyer they posted about yoga pants and start to make the case that if women are allowed to wear yoga pants, which are much cheaper, I should be able to wear scrubs. Again, they say, no, it's not the same. At this point, I look down and see the wording on the flyer is, "As a thank you for your hard work, management has decided to allow all nursing staff to wear appropriate yoga pants if they would like. No gender noted, just that they must be black or khaki and not low cut." So I go home and tell my girlfriend at the time about this and asked her for a pair of her black yoga pants. She was barely 5'3", and when I tried them on, they barely went past my knees. They covered my butt though, so they worked. The next day I walked into work, proudly sporting the high water yoga pants with my hairy calves, stilt-like legs, and black juicy lettering on my behind. 1 hour into my shift, when management gets there, I instantly get called into the office with my boss and HR. "What are you doing? You are not wearing the correct uniform, and we will need to send you home now." I grab the flyer and point out that nowhere did they ever say that this was only for women to wear, and they also don't say anything about length on it. I then say that they are at the appropriate height, put my hands on my hips, do a 180 to show off, and smile at them looking over my shoulder. "That's not the point, you know what we meant." Actually, that is the point. He's right, you did say nursing staff could wear these, and they fit the criteria you put in place. Boss has a wicked scowl on her face knowing she got beat, but then pauses and laughs. "Okay, fine, wear your scrubs. Just no more yoga pants." I've already heard the female residents talking about you being juicy more than I'd like. Go home and change though. For a long time I got teased by a bunch of 85-year-old women about when I was gonna be showing off my juicy again. But at least I got to wear scrubs. The third story is called More Tickets. In the not too distant past, I was working for a large multinational company, European owned, in a small office for large one-off projects. 200 or so persons working under this facility. We did not even have one on-site IT person. Things just did not get done. The nearby corporate office would not like to dirty their hands and drive out to our remote location about 20 minutes away. They wouldn't even be regular with maintenance items and skip backups, etc. User tickets, e.g. software issues, licenses, etc. were all moved offshore to a third-party company. This company was based in India and further would hire third parties to work these tickets since they were in the off shift. It got to the point where we were basically left to our own devices. A couple of us were tired of this. We racked up a bunch of credentials in our off time, including HTML editing and automation. Things a normal company has internal support for and can help out. What we couldn't fix were issues outside of our control, physical network assets down or remote devices down. Come to find out, the third party using a third party way of handling tickets got out of hand. Seems some were exploiting the time difference between the US and India and committing some fraud, claiming tickets they didn't do, etc. It was apparently 10 to 15 tickets or so, which amounted to around $2,000. Duplicate tickets someone double paid for. It was the first company that messed it up, so our support was restricted to 1 day on site if there was enough trouble. This was unacceptable, and it showed. System-wide issues would be addressed, but only if multiple users reported the issue, and since we were a small office, would fall out of the queue and be left behind again. My fellow engineers and I devised a plan. We took our new skills and worked out a plan. The ticket submission was a very simple web page. We had some automation software, usually for app testing, etc., and quickly worked to exploit this support stupidity. We had a system issue and everyone in the office reported it. Each separate task and resolution was its own group of tickets. Since we had the software, we could mask with randoms and make it seem like people were actually filling these out. One issue could end up with 10,000 tickets in a few minutes. Additionally, we could raise the severity each hour, creating more and more tickets. This ended up at the CTO level within 5 hours, about 11 PM European time. The overlords in Europe figured out after 4 or so issues to go back to refix what's broken and not worry about a few bugs here, especially since it was the Randos issue that created it. The double third-party stuff was stopped and we ended up with a slightly better third-party team working on our issues. The next story is called A Better System. I used to work for a newspaper. At one point, we had a spate of mistakes make it into print. There wasn't really a reason for it, apart from us all being overworked and mildly burnt out. Just one of those unfortunate coincidences. Anyway, our boss was furious. She put up this board like those you have at construction work sites, saying X days without errors. We also had a long-standing practice where copy ads had to put changes they made in bold, so it would be easier for journalists to spot the difference. But our editor wanted a better fact-checking system. She told us we had to italicize every fact in our story to make it clear we checked it properly. Again, we worked for a newspaper. Most of us weren't writing op-eds. We were doing general news. It was all facts. But whatever you say, boss. We started writing entire articles in italics, before selectively de-italicizing words like and the. Gotta get all the facts, right? The first time I did that, I got an angry call from this copy ad who had worked for the newspaper for 50 years. Took absolutely no mess from anyone and was an institution in her own right. Why is your whole story so hard to read? Why is it all in italics? Just following orders, ma'am. Fortunately, the boss soon turned her attention to other problems, and we were able to return to whatever passes for normalcy in a newsroom. The last story is called Until Everyone Left. I worked at a movie theater back in the day. On this particular day, I was working as the person who cleans the theater after the movie ended. Usually, by the time credits are halfway through and the lights are on, we start cleaning, since most people are already gone. You usually get 1 or 2 stragglers grabbing their stuff, but never more than 3 to 4 people. There are always at least 3 of us to clean the theater, since they are too big for just 1 person. So the 2 of us start at different parts of the theater, and the 3rd is waiting for the stragglers to leave. We clean, move on to the next theater, work as usual. Apparently, someone complained that us starting to clean while they were still in the theater made them feel rushed, so they almost tripped leaving the theater. So now we are not allowed to be visible in the viewing room until everyone leaves. We can wait by the stairs just out of view, but enough to see if the room is clear. This usually was never a problem, and people stayed visible anyway just to not be in the hallway as guests tried to leave. Well, this one manager didn't like how we weren't listening to her directions. We were told not to step foot in until everyone left, or we'll be written up. Well, okay. More traffic for people to leave trying to squeeze past us while we have cleaning supplies and block a lane in the hallway. Nothing big. Until one day, the best possible outcome. Someone fell asleep during the movie. Well, as directed by our manager, we stood there for the next 30 minutes watching the guy toss and turn in his sleep. People from the next movie started to form a line. The manager saw it and came in and asked us what was taking so long. We can't clean. There's someone still here. The policy was changed a week later to be that we can help people leave but can start cleaning until the last person left. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories and today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and want to support me, please subscribe and hit the like button. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.